Hey guys, welcome to our second GarageBand tutorial. So today we're doing a little bit more of what we did last week where we're composing a new song within some really specific guidelines. Once again, sorry for the blurry picture. This is the best I could do for right now, but we will improve in the future. So today we're starting by making a new song. So you press plus and we're at our instruments. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're at tracks, and we're still working with our live instruments today. We're going to talk more about loops next time, but for now we're working on tracks. So today we're going to be working with 4 different groups. As you can see, there are a ton of things here. We've already worked with the keyboard, and you have the instruments of world, guitar, bass, strings. You have an audio recorder, don't worry about that yet, amp, don't worry about that yet, and we have drums. So today we're going to be talking about drums first. So with drums, you see all these different options here, and all this is different ways for you to play the same instrument and the same sounds. Today we're going to keep it really simple, and we're actually just going to click on acoustic drums. So make sure you click on that. Now that might bring you to a couple different images. Right now mine brought me up to the SoCal drum kit, which is a specific kind of drum kit. Now, in order to pick your drum kit, which I'm going to let you do today, you're going to go right here in the middle where it says SoCal or whatever, and it brings up all these different options for what kind of drums you may want to play. So first, the traditional kits, and you can tell by the pictures what those are. So those are things you would see on like a live drum set. So this first one, let's say roots. It changes the sound. Now with each instrument you press, it makes a different sound corresponding to what it would sound like in real life. So that's one kit. I would encourage you to pause the video and take a second to experiment with all the true kits. So the ones that look like, you know, real life instruments. So this one is SoCal again. So you can tell how they have a different sound to them. There's the live rock kit, which is my favorite. Now, also with these to note, you can play more than one instrument at a time. So I could go just using multiple fingers, or if I wanted to go with different hands. So you could do that. So experiment with all those. Now, those are all the live kits. You also have the option of these guys right here, or the boards. So this is a house drum machine, and it's got all these little icons here to help you with different sounds that you could use. Now, looking up here at all these crazy settings, don't mess with those. Just leave them on default for now. Just the resolution, lo-fi, low cut, high cut, just leave all those as they are for now. We'll explore more with those another time. But for now, looking at these, obviously it's a slightly different feel than if you did a live kit, right, where it looks like an actual instrument. This is just a board of sounds. But it gives you lots of samples, and it's really easy to use. So I could go. So it gives you some more flexibility. So that's the house drum machine. There's also the pile driver, similar idea. Slightly different sounds, but the same idea of the buttons, and trapdoor, which I know you're all going to be like, trap music, but no, that's not what it is. Just different sounds. So once again, you can even play 3 instruments at a time, however many you want. I would recommend keeping it to 2 just for simplicity's sake. So once you've experimented with all those, pick the instrument that you're going to go with. I personally really enjoy the house drum machine. I think it's really fun. So once you've chosen your instrument, whatever it may be, we've got to go to settings. So today, and this is for everyone, no matter what combination of instruments you do, you must put it on these settings. So remember, for settings, we go to this little wrench up here in the top right-hand corner. We click it, and here we can figure out how fast we want the song to go, how we want to be counted in, what the time signature will be, and today we're going to keep it pretty simple. We are going to double check our metronome and count in. Remember, metronome is this little guy right here that keeps the beat for us. You're going to click on that, make sure that your metronome is on and that count in is on. Metronome level should be medium high, and you can click wood block. So this just counts us in. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you are going to make sure that your tempo is set to 125. So scooch it right up there using your finger. And now it's at 125. So that's going to be a little faster for us. Then you're going to click here, key signature, and you're going to click D. So last time we were in C, today we are in D. So click D and make sure it's major. And then make sure that this is on, the follow the sound key, or song key. That will help you in the long run, trust me. All right, now that we have all that, we just have one more thing to take care of with settings. Now, that has to do with up here. We are going to set how long you are going to record for. So, could you look and press this plus sign right here? Now that tells you, that's going to set how long you are able to record up here. I would like you to click where it says section A, and I want you to bring it down to just 8 bars. If it is not on 8 bars, it should automatically be there, but if it is not, make sure it is on 8, and make sure automatic is off. We can change it to be different things, like let's say that's 4. And what that does is see how it changed up here. So now I only have 4 measures to record, but today we're going with 8. We'll change it later on. So working with 8. Now, here's what you're going to do. Make sure that your blue metronome icon is on, that's highlighted in blue. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a pattern for 8 beats. So you can experiment with this at first, don't record yet, or if you record, you can press undo, and you're just going to experiment, and I want you to come up with an 8 measure pattern. So, let's practice. If I press record, counts me down, I might go. All right, so let's say that's what I did. That's my whole recording. Now remember to press the stop button at the end of that so it doesn't keep on going and the metronome doesn't keep on playing. Now, if you want to hear your recording, you can play it back. All right, so it's playing my recording for me. And you can tell that it has a recording because it's green at the top here. So I kept my recording very simple. You could do a little bit more with it if you don't like what you did. Also, this is going to automatically repeat, so press stop afterwards. Now, if you do not like your recording, you can always press undo. I kind of like my recording, so I'm going to keep it for now. So we have our first track. That's our drum cat. So that is one half of what we are doing today. So congratulations, you've done your drum assignment. Now you're going to go back to here. You're going to click these series of squares and rectangles. That is our trackpad. You're going to click that, and oh look, there's your pattern right there. So there's another way for you to play it back. Now, that's just to double check that you have it. And now you're going to go back here to this far left-hand button, which is selecting an instrument. So now you're going to go back to instruments. You've done your drum, and now you get to choose between a couple different instruments. You can choose between strings, the only ones we're going to work with today. Now, once again, they have several different options. It's just the same way it's different ways to play the same instrument. Today, though, focus on smart instruments. So each of these has a smart instruments. Today, let's start with strings, and I chose smart strings. Now, there are a couple different ways you can set this up. For right now, go ahead and you can click over here and you can pick the type of orchestra you want. So you might click cinematic. That's one sound, or modern. Right, so they're very subtle differences. This one's pop, so very subtle, and romantic. So really, really easy, really, really tiny differences. So I'm going to go ahead and click cinematic, but it is up to you. Now once you click that, make sure all your instruments are tapped on. Now you can take away certain instruments by clicking on them and they'll fade out. So now I just have basses. And you can hear how it sounds so low, or I could take away the bass and just do violins maybe. So I'll take away the rest of these. And you can hear how high it is. Now I want you to select full orchestra for this. Make sure now to check our settings that you have selected chords, not notes, because notes brings you to what looks like an actual violin neck. So we don't want that. So choose chords and make sure that autoplay is off. Now autoplay is just, it gives you a series of patterns that it'll just play for you. Like I just click here. But I don't really want that. I want to make up my own. So you're going to turn off. You are not going to click any of these autoplays. Now, all of these are chords that the instruments will play. You have two different options, and our help button will tell us. Now, when you're ever in doubt, you can always press this little question mark, and it'll give you some helpful tips. Now, there are two great ways that you can play on these string instruments. You can, which gives you a nice sustained note, or you can, if you tap right on the letter, it just plays the whole thing for you on what's called pizzicato or plucking. Or you can bow. So there are two different ways you can do this. I personally really enjoy playing pizzicato or the plucking sound. Alright, so I'm going to press this question mark to get rid of that. Now, when you play pizzicato, you can play any of these little sections. So you can play, and that just gives you a different pitch or a different range of the instruments. Like obviously this is higher and this is lower. But for now, you can pick any of these you want. I am going to just tap right at the top for that higher sound. Now, your job here, and with any of the other instruments I'm going to demo for you, whether it be bass guitar or strings, is to record something to complement your drum pattern. Now, to hear your drum pattern, you should just be able to press play. So it's playing that pattern that you recorded from earlier. It's already a part of the system. So I can hear it. And you can use this to experiment. It's going to loop, so you can practice it a couple different ways. So I might go. Until you get the hang of it, you know, and you kind of figure it out. You can go. Now that doesn't quite fit. So you could play around with it. And once you are ready, you scooch this back to the beginning and you press record. Alright, so now I have a recording of this too. As you can tell, it's great. Now I can play it back. Now, if I don't like that, like let's say Miss Lee does not like that, I can press undo and redo it again. It won't take away the drum track. Don't worry, it won't take away the drum track. It'll just take away what you just recorded. Now, once you've recorded something that you like, you can go back to tracks, and there will be 2 tracks there, and we'll talk more about what to do in a second. Now, let's go to another instrument. Let's say you didn't want to do strings. Let's go to bass, because it's right here. So we can click Smart Bass, and it's going to bring us the same thing, where guitar. So you can click on Smart Guitar right here, bottom left-hand corner, and that brings up a full guitar. So you want to make sure, once again, autoplay is off, that you are on chords and not notes, because notes makes it look like an actual guitar. So click notes, and then you can pick what kind of guitar you want. I personally like the acoustic, but there's hard rock, and let's see if it'll load. And you can add all these cool distortions like this, or this one. And it does all sorts of crazy things for you. Now, and it'll keep on going forever, trust me. So, you can pick up any of these. You can experiment around, see what you like. This one is Roots Rock. And that can give you different effects as well. But for now, I'm going to go with acoustic. So, once again, make sure, click on this wrench and double check to make sure you are in D major and that you are at 125. And that you're in 4/4. Now once you got that, the thing you want to do is just like we did in strings, I would recommend that you, one, make sure your metronome is on, and then press play. And it's going to play that drum beat that we heard earlier, the one that we recorded from before. Now, while it's looping, take some time to experiment and come up with a pattern you like, jumping around from these different chords. So I might go. And that might be it. So, whatever pattern you come up with, and I'm literally just making this up here, once you have it all settled and you think, oh, that fits with my drum part, you're going to press record. It'll count you off, and then so that was not perfect, and I definitely will not pretend that it is. So once you've recorded something, you can click up here with tracks in that left-hand corner, and now you have the 2 tracks that you put together. So you can play those back. And so that last part definitely wasn't any good, but that's okay, because if I don't like something, I can always just cut it out. Let's say I only like that first part. Let's say I only like the first 4 parts. I can cut it out by dragging the side here. So I'm going to cut that out. Let's try it again. All right. And then it will keep on going. Now, you can drag it right back to here, and if you want to re-record a second part, you can click right back at that instrument and record from there. And then let's say I've got that now. So I've got my tracks. Let's double check them. I've re-recorded, done something new. Let's play it back. So silly easy. Now, that is the first part of your assignment. All you have to do is record a percussion or a drum sound, and then either a string or like an orchestra sound or a guitar sound. So those are your 2, that's your first assignment. Now, this is only 8 measures, which is no fun. So what we're gonna do is we are going to make our song a little bit longer. So here's what you're gonna do. We are gonna press this plus button right here, and you are going to learn how to create today a new section. So sections of a song, like we've talked about maybe as early as like 4th grade, is we have studied how songs change, you know, like from a verse to a chorus, and how there are these contrasting sections that don't repeat, they don't sound exactly the same. So in this case, we are going to add another one. So you're going to go to this plus sign, plus add, and now you have a section B. Now you can determine how long you want to make section B. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be 8 bars. Now, section B can be whatever you want it to be. It's a blank slate. So what you could do is you can always duplicate what we already have going on in section A. All you have to do is swipe back, and you can copy it, swipe on forward, and then paste it. Oh, and now you have the same beat. So for the B section, what you're going to do is you're going to copy over that drum sound that you made for the first round, but now you're going to record a new instrument, whichever one you did not choose for the first session. So if you chose guitar for this A section, you're going to choose strings for the second section. So you're going to click right here, go over to strings, and we're at Smart Strings, and then you're going to record a pattern, whatever you want it to be, just like you did with the guitar. You can undo, redo, fix, whatever you need to do. Once you have that, let's just try one for the heck of it. Alright, so that is my poor attempt at making some strings there. So we go back to tracks. And ta-da, look, I have a track right here. So I have my A section, which is my house drum and acoustic. And then I have my house drum and cinematic strings for my second section. So if we hear that all together, it will play through the A section and the B section. Now, once you have that, you can make sure that your levels are all good. So all you have to do is come over here. Like, let's say you think that, wow, my drum machine is a little too loud. So you can bring it down, or you can bring it up if you want to hear that a little bit more. After you've adjusted levels, you like everything. We're not going to do any loops today. You can finish up with your 2 sections. If you want to be ambitious, you could click and add a 3rd section and have it be 8 bars, and you can create something entirely new that fits with your song using these 3 instruments. So it might mean recording a new section. It might mean copying over what you already have from a previous section and putting it back, putting all 3 together, whatever you would like, as long as it sounds good. So I'm giving you a lot of free rein on this one. Make sure that you listen through everything before you turn it in. But once you feel ready, like you've created a song that you like, in this case, Musli has not created the best song, but that's okay. We're just using it as an example. You're going to click My Songs, which will automatically save it. Now, just to review, you're going to want to double click that, and you're going to rename your song. So you are going to put your name, your first name, and then you are going to put the song number. In this case, it's song number 2, right? Because it's the second song we've worked on. Once you've done that, you're going to press select, click the wobbly icon, and you're going to press the share icon right here on the top left-hand corner. You're going to click Google Drive, just press share, and it's going to convert the song into a format that we can export. And once this comes up, you go to select user. You're going to select FCDS GarageBand Projects at gmail.com for your upload, and then you just press upload.